Now these are birthdays. I'm getting. I'm coming. I'm sorry. These are birthdays. And there's Clifton. It's his birthday. And that was a treat. Sodas. That's Betsy, me, Rhonda. Now some of them might be neighbors. There's Jimmy and Clifton. I don't know who Ray's flirting with, but he's flirting with somebody. It's like Rod, and Shirley, Rhonda, and Julie. Christine, Rick. No, that's right. Sorry. Girl in the. Do you remember Claudia?
Mm-hmm.
That's who the redheaded girl was. Man, I showed it to Betsy, like you're doing right now.
Yeah.
I called her though. This is a game we used to play. I think it's called Red Robin. You drop the flag behind the person, and you got to run like hell and get back to their spot. And I don't know why Clifton thought he was going to outrun Ray. And of course, Ray's going to go with girls. There we go. Look at, I can go. Now, doesn't that look like Erica?
Yeah.
When she was her age, she was 4, maybe. That's Laura. There's Jimmy and Lee. Don't know who the blind girl is. Me and Betsy Pewey's been trying to figure it out. There's Laura. That's Lee. And I love Jimmy, okay? I had the biggest crush on Jimmy Magnus when I was a kid. Lord have mercy. And you ain't in these, buddy. I'm sorry. But Stanley is. Cowboy. See, happy birthday, Cowboy. That was Bruce's nickname. The one we call him Cowboy. He loved cat. That's all he watched when he had polio. And he wanted to be a cowboy. I think that's one of Memo's cakes because if you look at it, the icing is milk chocolate. It's not dark chocolate. There's Mom with short hair. That's Aunt Althea. Uncle George and Aunt Eunice. I don't know who that is, but they're pissed. Look at that. And then they trip. There's Mom again. No, that's Aunt Althea. I'm sorry, that's Aunt Althea and Uncle Rod. That's Laura. Jimmy and the redhead. That's Roddy. Before he went in the military. This Betsy. She's all the girls love Jimmy. There's Pee Wee. You know how Dad had to get in there and try to show Ray how to play. You ain't doing it right, boy. Look at me when I'm talking to you. That ain't how you do it. This is how you do it. You ain't doing it right, boy. You ain't doing it right, boy. Miss Pee Wee always got the head. That was my mom. Spruce. There's Betsy. It's Marcia taking the picture. You know what we got. Yeah, that looks like one of Mama's cakes. Always sleeping. Even then, Clayton was always sleeping. And that's Jimmy. Big
Paul.
Blackie.
Pause it for a second.
Can't.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. You can't. Now that's St. Eunice, but we were trying to figure out who the baby was. It might be. We're trying to either Stanley or Betsy. But I think it's Stanley. But I'm not positive. Is that your clothes?
Yeah.
I'll get them. I'm thinking, but you're gonna see a picture of Stanley in just a minute. That's St. Eunice. I ain't figured out who that is. There you go. There he is. That's him. Make read it. See as you are, I'm going to drop. See, see back then, girls run around with shorts on. Didn't think anything about it. But that's him. There's Rhonda and Betsy. They always had the same birthday. At that time, no, Pee Wee. Pee Wee's the only one that we had Christmas. December, baby. I remember that old car. Lord have mercy. Betsy loved that car. Sometimes she had to have somebody help get it started, but Come on. Let's keep saying, come on. You want to sit on this side? Fine, sit on this side. There's Stanley. Me and Mom, they know it. Look at it. It's Mom and Stanley. Somebody coming from that house. Yeah, wish my dad's got to do a flower thing. It's a well right there. Me and people were starting this one and nobody ever fell in that well. It was right off the back porch. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Here's the flag. I think it was over on DeSoto in Atlanta. Because the guy with the Navy hat on,
Yeah.
that was my boyfriend.
Who all's in the yard there?
That's Richard.
No.
That's Ray and Clifton. Me. Not sure about the girl, but the kid in the white hat, the boy right there at Sluton.
Yeah.
That's my boyfriend's house. There's Mama. We all running around Sluton flag. I think that's neighbor. The little girl is neighbor.
And Cliff's the tallest one.
Yeah, Clifton, Ray, me, think a neighbor, and the kid in the Navy hat is my boyfriend. I had to break up with him. He had a bad habit. Like to eat boogers. So I had to break up with him. So that's pretty well. Now you're gonna have a yard filled in, and some of them I can recognize, and some of them I can't. That's a Coast Guard flag, right?
Yeah.
So that had to be Daddy's Coast Guard
Yeah,
flag.
it's early 1960s Coast Guard flag.
Yeah. Now there's Stanley again. Mama let him hang himself. Teething. That's what he's doing, is teething. This Mama. Come on, boy. So then he just starts chewing on it. Yeah, that's Nanny. That is your great grandmother. That's Nanny.
Wow.
That's Mama's mother. And that's Stanley with her. She lived to be 101 years old. Her brother lived to 104. Now that's Julie. I'm not sure about that little girl. There's Bets. No, that's Rhonda. I'm sorry. That's Julie and Stanley in the crib together. And that looked like one of Mama's cakes too. Her coconut cake. And there's Roddy. It'll clear up a minute. There's Stanley again. That's before they knew Stanley was diabetic. Probably right before they knew Stanley was diabetic. You see, they feed him cake and everything.
Yeah.
He didn't like. Look, he didn't like those lights. And that's Lee behind him. I can't. Too dark right now. It looked like Uncle George and Aunt Eunice. And that's Ray wearing Dad's hat. Navy hat.
Yeah.
Or Coast Guard hat. No, it wasn't. Oh, look. Okay. There's Clifton, Ray. That's Jimmy with the hose. Not sure who the boy was. That's Clifton. And we had one of those. I think it's Pee Wee that got that. And that's Pee Wee without a shirt on. I mean, God, Richard. Yeah, she's tall. Yeah, but she ain't something to be showing. Look, all of us trying to get away from that Betsy right there. Or me, one or the other. Up under that daggum old big old, near that black walnut tree.
God, I'd love to have that car.
Oh yeah. I'd love to have that Delta 88 Daddy had. That's Marsha's in the background, the tall one. It's Clifton. That's Pee Wee with that shirt right now that's getting beat up. That's either, I can't tell if that's me or... No, that's me. Not sure who that is. That's Pee Wee. You see, she got wrapped up in it. That's Ray showing off. Alright. Now, this was over here in DeSoto. Some of these kids I don't recognize. I think they're just around the neighborhood. And that's Clifton. See, that's the only reason I say it's around the neighborhood. You see all the presents there?
Yeah.
That wouldn't have been at Mama's house. So I think that was over in DeSoto, in Atlanta, when we lived on DeSoto. And some of those kids, now, Jimmy, that's Jimmy Samples right there. I recognize Jimmy and Bobby. That's me sitting on the, all alone, because I've already broken up with that boyfriend of mine. And then, of course, Daddy playing with the camera. And acting like he's drunk. See, some of the kids I do recognize, but some of them in this, they were neighborhood kids invited to a birthday party. Everybody was having fun.
Dad turned the camera upside down.
Oh yeah, that's Daddy. And he was acting like everybody's drunk. Or he was one or the other. I don't know what he was burning. think that's Bobby Sample that was on the bass. Like I say, most of these are just neighborhood kids. I couldn't tell you the name of them if I had to. But I do believe that was on DeSoto. Just daddy playing with Kim. That's all he done. And this. That's back when you dressed up to go to somebody's house because you were invited to a birthday party.
Yeah.
You just didn't. This wasn't family, so you dressed up. Mom washed clothes. Now there's Stanley and me. And I've seen pictures of Katie's grandson. There he is, right there. There he is, right there. Trying to get Stanley to bounce. You had to bounce with him. That's the only way he would bounce. Everybody had to bounce with him. Yeah, you'd get tired. Look at that smile. There you go. That's it.
Okay.
See, I told you what.